when the live streaming is active. Chair, that's the recording started and we are now live streaming.
Thank you. Well, a very good morning, everyone. Welcome to Aberdeenshire Licensing Board. It is Wednesday, the 10th of February 2021. Please note that the board meeting is being live streamed and will be recorded and published online for public viewing after the meeting. Can members activate their cameras where possible to join on by video? And can all attendees mute their microphones, please, when not speaking? Please do not come in during items unless I invite you to do so. Can I confirm that all members have been able to access the papers for today's meeting in advance? Members wish to speak on any point, please notify me via the instant message function in the Skype meeting invite, or if you have dialed into the meeting, indicate by stating your name and the item you wish to speak on, and I will gladly bring you in at an appropriate time. If any members lose connection or have any technical issues during the meeting, please alert the Deputy Clerk by Skype message if possible. Support will be available from an IT officer, which you've been informed earlier during the meeting if required. Just to let you know that I will be considering having any if the meeting goes on too long, so if anyone feels that they need a break at an appropriate time, I'm happy to do that. I now ask the Deputy Clerk to take the servant, please.
Thank you, Chair. Please confirm you're present when your name is read out. Mr. Peter Argyle.
I'm here, good morning.
Mr. Stephen Calder.
Present.
Mrs. Marion Eunson.
Present.
Mr. Alistair Forsyth.
Good morning, present.
Ms. Victoria Harper.
Present.
Mr. Jeff Hutchison.
Present.
Mr. Glenn Reynolds.
Good morning, I'm here.
Mrs. Anne Stirling.
Present.
Mr. Brian Topping.
Here.
Mr. Lee Wilson.
Good morning.
Thank you, board members. And in attendance, Keith Simpson.
Morning, I'm here, thank you.
Lisa Gadini.
Good morning, I'm here.
Trevor Lackey.
Good morning, present.
Sarah Ward.
Good morning, present.
Sergeant Jill Flett.
Morning, present.
And we also have Kirsty Street, our trainee solicitor, who cannot confirm because she's operating our live stream. And we have Beatrice Hay, our admin assistant, who's helping today. Beatrice, can you confirm you're present?
Good morning, present.
Thank you, Chair. All board members are present. I've no apologies, so we can move on with the agenda. Thank you, Chair.
You're still muted, Brian.
Thank you very much. Move on to item 2, declaration of members' interest. Have any members any interest they wish to declare? I take silence as that there's none. So thank you for that. We'll move on to item 3, resolutions of equalities. Can members please indicate that they wish to agree the resolution?
Agreed.
Agreed.
It's agreed. Thank you very much. Now to item 4, approval of the minutes of the previous meeting. Can members agree to minute as a current record of the meeting of the 16th of December 2020?
Agreed.
Agreed.
That's agreed. Thank you very much. Now move on to item 5, application of premises licence non-contentious, and we have one here for the Longside Social Club. I think we'll go through each one. You have all the information there. Are members happy to agree to the application?
Yeah, happy with that.
Propose we agree. Yep.
Okay. If anyone has a different view, please indicate now. So that is agreed. Thank you very much. Now move on to item 6. This is applications for major variations, non-contentious. Now we have 2, and we'll take each one in turn. And again, if there's any questions on each one, please come in. The first one we've got is Morrison's of Peterhead. Is everyone happy, board members happy to grant the application?
Yep, agreed.
Content.
That's agreed. Okay, thank you very much. And the second one we have, again, quite straightforward, Scott Mid in Banff. First of all, if there's any questions, I'll take them now. If not, are we happy to grant the application?
Agreed.
Agreed. That's fine. Thank you very much indeed, members. Now we move on to item 7, review of personal licence. And the first one we have, I'll hand over to Deputy Clerk, please.
Chair, the first review hearing is in relation to a review against Mr. Brian Hetherington, who is the holder of personal licence ABC Personal 1108 as per the report. We have made attempts to contact Mr. Hetherington to establish if he was going to join today or make written submissions. We've had no contact from Mr. Hetherington. I would advise board members that all participants to hearings are advised that if they fail to attend, the board can opt to proceed in their absence. Sergeant Flett is here today, so the preliminary issue, Chair, would be to determine whether you're going to proceed today with the hearing in the absence of the licence holder, or whether you wish to defer to allow us a further attempt to contact the licence holder. We can give no guarantee that if we do attempt to contact the licence holder that he will make contact with us, so we may be faced with the same position at the April board. However, I'm in the hands of the board.
Thank you very much. Bring in Mr. Argyle, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. It seems to me, in the face of in light of the evidence that we have in the papers, that it's very unlikely that deferring the item to the next meeting will make any material difference. Mr. Hetherington has been contacted, we understand, on a number of occasions without any response. So I propose that we go ahead today.
I'll second that. The board, Chair, please.
I see Mr. Calder is typing in a message, so I think that is agreed. We will continue. Okay, so we have said that, just for clarification, that the board meeting is being recorded live, and we have also heard that Mr. Brian Hetherington, review of his personal licence, has been contacted and is not available. So we'll carry on with this item, and I'd just like to confirm whether Police Scotland are present.
Yes, Sergeant Joe Flatt present.
Yes, thank you, Sergeant Flett. Nice to hear from you. Are you satisfied, Sergeant, that you have received all the relevant information, and do you feel able to participate in the determination of the application?
Yes, indeed.
That's fine. Right, I think in that case then, Sergeant Flett, it's over to you, please.
Yes, thank you. There is in fact a preliminary matter, and there's a subsequent letter, a supplementary letter sent to the local authority on the 6th of January. I don't know if that's within members' papers, if the clerk might wish to address that. If so, I can seek your agreement to have that included.
Chair, it is part of the papers, so you do have that in front of you.
That's fine. Carry on, thank you.
Okay, that's great. In which case, I'll just take you through the letter. The first letter you'll see is dated 1st of December, and it relates principally to 2 convictions that the licence holder has. Now, these convictions relate to the offences of being driving whilst unfit through drink or drugs. And you'll see that a short time thereafter, in 2020, Mr. Hetherington was convicted of possession of a number of controlled drugs. Now, the other matters brought to your attention within this letter and the supplementary letter relate to pending matters. And I feel that as this is a live streamed board, I don't wish to read them out. If members have the papers in front of them and have read that, I think it's appropriate that that is the manner in which that is accepted into the evidence, rather than me read that out, given this is a live streamed and recorded matter. However, there's no issue with the convictions. You'll see in the letter that our licensing team have made concerted efforts to contact Mr Hetherington to remind him of his obligations to report his relevant offences to the licensing board. That hasn't happened, and I think that the accumulating number of pending charges, which are very much linked to one of the convictions, give us significant concern, and it is the Chief Constable's view that in light of the convictions and pending matters, Mr Hetherington is no longer a fit and proper person having regard to the licensing objectives of preventing crime and disorder and securing public safety, and we seek the revocation of the personal licence. Thank you.
You're muted, Chair.
Thank you very much indeed for that. Yes, could I ask board members if they have any questions for Sergeant Flake, please? Thank you. Mr Argyle, you have a question?
No, no question, Chair.
Yeah. Any questions? Okay, if there's no questions, Sergeant Flett, is there anything further you wish to say in your summing up?
No, I think it's all there in front of you.
That's fine, thank you very much, Sergeant Flett. Can I ask board members if they require any legal advice from the clerk? And do you wish to retire to deliberate, or are you quite happy to continue the discussion?
Happy to continue discussion, Chair. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr Forsyth, for that. So any comments board members wish to raise, and at the appropriate time I'm quite happy to take a motion, and we have one from Mr Argyle. Peter, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. I think the evidence in front of us is extremely clear, and the fact that we have not heard from the applicant in relation to the conviction that should have been reported to us merely adds weight to that. It seems to me that Mr Hetherington is not a fit and proper person, and in terms of the Licensing Act and our duty to prevent crime, disorder and protect public safety, I think are the two key ones. I would agree with Sergeant Flett on that. I would propose that the licence is revoked.
Very much, Mr. That's proposed. And I see we have a second, Mr Forsyth, please.
Yes, I agree with my colleague. I think the evidence is overwhelming, and likewise I agree with the Chief Constable. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. I've got to ask, is there any amendment to the motion? If there's not, I believe Deputy Clerk would need to do a call, just to say a roll call, just to say everyone is in agreement. Is that correct?
Chair, we can either do that, or if the board agrees, we would take silence as being a unanimous decision.
Okay, so can we all agree to the motion? Silence is, that means it is agreed. So a unanimous decision. So thank you very much for that.
So just to confirm, Chair, that the licence holder's personal licence has been revoked on the basis that his actions are contrary to the prevention of crime and disorder and public safety licensing objectives, and that he is therefore no longer a fit and proper person, and the sanction is that the licence has been revoked. I confirm that we will confirm that decision with all parties within the next 7 days, and we will seek the return of the personal licence when it's safe and appropriate to do so. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much for that. Now, members, we move on to item 8, review of personal licence. And this is for Mr Guy Fidlerson. Can I just check if Mr. Finlayson is here? We understand that he won't be here. Can I just
I'm
confirm
just trying to bring him into the meeting, Chair, if you just bear with me. Hello? Just bear with me, Chair.
Right.
Hello? Hello?
Mr. Finlayson, are you with us?
I'm still trying to get him to join the meeting, Chair.
Thank you.
He's not responding to his phone number. Um, put the recording and live stream on pause to allow me to try and contact the applicant because he's not responding to any of my calls.
No problem.
Hello? 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 Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Chair, I've not been able to contact the applicant.
I take it he would be advised to be on standby knowing the meeting starts at 10:15. Would that be the case?
Hello?
Hello, Fiona. Is it the case that the applicant
I've lost my sound for some reason, Chair.
you've
I
got
can't
it.
hear anybody. Just
to confirm, I take it Mr. Finlayson would have been advised
Give me a
that the vote.
second. Hello, Chair. Sorry, I lost my sound for a minute there. I've not been able to get the licence holder by phone or by adding him into the meeting. Do you wish to adjourn for 5-10 minutes to allow me to try and get him in, or do you wish to proceed with the rest of the meeting and try and get him at the end?
Yes. What I was wanting to ask, you're obviously busy trying to get hold of Mr. Is that it?
We're certainly recording. Kirsty, can you confirm we're live streaming? There is a slight delay. Yep, that's us recording and
That's
live
right.
streaming.
Thank you very much. Just for any people listening to the live stream, we have actually put back item 8 as the applicant has been unable so far to be contacted. So we're moving on to item 9 and we will return to item 8, which is a report on the payment of annual fees for 2020. And Sarah, I believe you're with us. Would you like to speak to the board, please?
Yes, good morning, Chair. The report before you today provides the Board with information as to the collection of annual fees in respect to the premises licences currently trading in Aberdeenshire. The recommendation is for the Board is asked to note this report and acknowledge the work that has been carried out by licensing standards officers to ensure that annual fees are collected timelessly, or in the case of non-payment, that appropriate steps are taken in relation to the premises licences concerned. The purpose and decision-making route. Paragraph 7 of the Licensing Fees Scotland Regulations 2007, the Fees Regulations, provides the annual fee must be paid by the 1st of October and states that notification must be given to every holder of a premises licence no later than 30 days before the date of the licence is due. Schedule 3 to the Licensing Scotland Act 2005, the Act, sets out a list of conditions that attach to all premises licences, referred to as mandatory because boards must attach them to all licences. Paragraph 10 of the Schedule 3 states the annual fee must be paid as required by the fee regulations. This matter has not been considered by the board previously. Decision. Timeless payment of annual fees. The 420 licensed premises paid their annual fees on time by the 1st of October 2020. Non-payment and late payment of fees. Aberdeenshire Licensing Board had a total of 640 live licensed premises when the annual fee renewal letters were issued at the end of August 2020. 420 premises paid on time, leaving a balance of 220 premises licence holders failing to pay annual fees on or before the 1st of October. Note this is a slight increase of 51 licensed premises on the figures from 2019, where 169 licence holders failed to pay their annual fees. The driving factor for this, we believe, is COVID-19 and hospitality restrictions in terms of the regulations. In relation to the 220 premises which had outstanding fees due, the LSOs sent reminder letters in terms of Schedule 3, Paragraph 10 of the Licensing Scotland Act, payment of annual fees, followed by non-compliant letters, and in some cases Section 14 notices were served. Of the 220 premises outstanding on the 1st of October, 207 premises have now paid their fees. The table below, at 4.5, confirms a total of 12 surrenders, leaving one premises outstanding, as per table 4.6, which confirms the action taken by the Licensing Standards Officer. There were 143 premises paid late between the dates of 2nd of October and the 31st of October. There were 49 premises paid late between the 1st of November and the 30th of November. And there were 10 premises paid late between the 1st of December and the 10th of December, 5 from the 1st of January 2021. So we had a total of 12 premises that failed to pay and subsequently surrendered, and noted in your report the details. At 4.5, at 4.6, the table illustrates one premises that have failed to pay. In total, outstanding, where I believe there's going to be a report sent by our colleague Trevor Lackey to April board for consideration. No further information to add at this stage, Chair?
Yes, thank you. Just before I bring any comments from board members, I think as convener of the board, I'm sure I speak for everyone, is to pass on a massive thanks to you, Sarah, and all the other LSOs for the tremendous work and diligence in actually, getting all but one to pay. I think for those that have sadly, because of COVID and perhaps other factors, have gone out of business, we obviously sympathise very much indeed. It is difficult times for all, and those who perhaps lost their jobs. But I think as a board, I think we've been trying to do all we can to help and support licensed premises, and we've not actually, because everyone does pay in advance, and I think actually to get to this stage where 420 have actually paid, a big thank you, as I say, to your staff, all the LSOs, and also to licensing trade as well for coming forward. And I'm quite sure, hopefully, before April, the one outstanding one will have paid. But anyway, I'll open up to board members. Anyone, any comments? I'll take one verbally if you want to come in.
Well, I'll take up that invitation, convener. Just echoing your words, you're absolutely right. A huge amount of work by our LSOs in dealing with this issue, and actually it reflects extremely well on the trade across Aberdeenshire. I think we all recognise how very difficult times are for the whole of the licensed trade, the whole of the hospitality sector with COVID and so on, and huge uncertainty, massive challenges. And I think we have to recognise that and really applaud them for A, keeping going, and B, all except one of them, which I suspect will either surrender or pay before very much longer. All but one of them have either surrendered the licence, and that's unfortunate, but the majority have paid and are continuing to serve people in Aberdeenshire, and I think we have to recognise really the huge amount of work that the trade are putting into that. Thanks.
Thank you. I think these comments should be shared by the whole board. I think, Deputy Clerk, could we, apart from just noting it, I think we could actually minute our gratitude and congratulations to our LSOs for all the tremendous hard work, but also to minute our appreciation to the trade in these difficult times. So we maybe minute something along that lines. Would the board be happy with that?
Yes, happy with that. Here.
Thank you very much, everyone. Now, I do understand if we move now back to item 8, we do have Mr. Guy Finlayson on board, so I'll just pause for a moment so we can bring him in. Thank you.
Chair, hopefully we'll have him shortly. Hello, Mr. Finlayson, are you with us? Mr. Finlayson?
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Finlayson. Welcome to the Licensing Board meeting, which is being live streamed and recorded, and I'll now pass you over to the convener.
A very good morning, Mr. Finlayson. Glad we managed to get you. We held this item back so we could get hold of you. So thank you very much for your attendance today. And just to let you know, as the Deputy Clerk has mentioned, the board meeting will be recorded and published online for public viewing after the meeting. And now I'll call on the Deputy Clerk to confirm the procedure for the hearing. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Finlayson, the procedure is that we will confirm, or the Chair will confirm, that all parties are present. You will be asked if you have had sufficient information upon which to proceed. Thereafter, the Chief Constable's representative will be asked to speak to the application for review. You will then be asked to speak in response to that. The Chief Constable's representative gets a chance to respond to what you've said. Board members will be invited to ask questions of all parties. You'll then be asked to sum up in reverse order, so you will be asked first, then the Chief Constable's representative. The Chair will establish whether the board members require any legal advice from myself, whether they wish to retire to deliberate, and if not deliberating, will then move to the debate and decision on the matter. Is that clear?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Finlayson. Chair?
Yes, thank you very much, Deputy Clerk. Can I, moving forward, confirm that Police Scotland are present? We know they are, but just to confirm, please.
Yes, Sergeant Jill Flatt present.
Thank you, Sergeant Flett. Thank you. Are you satisfied, Sergeant, that you've received all the relevant information, and do you feel able to participate in the determination of the application?
Yes.
Can I please just check that Guy Finlayson is present?
Yes.
And I take it that you are satisfied that you've received all the relevant information, and do you feel able to participate in the determination of the application?
Yes.
Thank you very much for that. In line with the guidance you have received in the public participant meeting protocol for licensing board hearings, please can you all mute your microphones when not speaking, if your phone permits this. Please do not speak unless I invite you to do so, and please do not interrupt the other speakers. If you do, you may be removed from the meeting. I'm sure that will not be required. If the board meeting requires to adjourn to deliberate the application, you will be removed. Well, we'll actually move into a separate room, so to speak, and the recording of the meeting will be paused. On resuming of the meeting, if that is the case, the Deputy Clerk will re-invite you into the main part of, well, we'll come back into the main part of the meeting and the recording will be restarted. Deputy Clerk.
Thank you, Chair. I can confirm that all microphones are appropriately muted. So the next step, Chair, is to ask Sergeant Flett to speak to the request for review.
Thank you very much. Sergeant Flett, over to you, please.
Yes. Thank you. Members will see the terms of this letter under Section 84A of the Licensing Scotland Act, and it brings to your attention a relevant conviction by the licence holder, which is dated 14th August 2020, Aberdeen Sheriff Court, when he pled guilty to the offence of drink driving. He was fined £1,475 and disqualified from driving for a period of 2 years. And you'll see the circumstances leading to the conviction are basically that police officers were in a police station when they observed a minor road traffic collision and involving the licence holder and his personal vehicle, during which time he provided a lower breath test reading of 84 micrograms of alcohol per 100 millilitres breath, which exceeds the prescribed limit of 22 micrograms of alcohol per 100 millilitres of breath. Now, following conviction, any licence holder should, by law, report their relevant conviction to the licensing board. Nobody ever does, and the police tend to phone them up and jog them along. However, after numerous attempts to contact Mr Finlayson, contact was successfully made on the 3rd of December. What should happen thereafter is Mr Finlayson ought to have reported his relevant conviction to the board, and the board then send a request to the police to confirm said conviction. No such request to confirm the conviction was forthcoming, so you'll see from the date of the letter, 13th of January of this year, we have reported the relevant conviction to the board. We're of the opinion that Mr Finlayson has acted in a manner inconsistent with the licence and objectives, particularly preventing crime and disorder, securing public safety, and should you be satisfied that the grounds for review have been established, we leave the matter of disposal open to yourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergeant Flake, for that. And now I'd like to invite Mr Finlayson to address the board, please.
Yes, I did contact Keith Simpson, and I was, from my records, I was the first contact which I had with the police. I then went on to contact Keith Simpson about the matter.
Hello, Mr Finlayson. It's the Deputy Clerk, Ms Stewart here. Do you want to speak to or advise the board about the circumstances of the conviction? Do you want to say anything about what the police have said today about the nature of your conviction before we proceed?
Well, I think saying I was only contacted once with regards to doing that, and on the first contact that I received, I then contacted Licensing Board of Keith Simpson by email.
Yes, we've noted that, but do you want to put any information before the board about the circumstances that led to the conviction? We've noted that you spoke to Keith Simpson, so that you did try to contact the board, but do you want to say anything before the board now about the nature of the conviction itself? The board are considering what action to take because of your conviction. You've explained that you've tried to contact the board, so that's been noted, but do you want to say anything about how the conviction occurred, what impact that has on your licence, that kind of thing, Mr. Simpson?
Well, how the conviction occurred, it was I'm battling like mad, working 16-hour days to try and keep my business afloat during COVID and adapts. I make a horrific decision from working late and clearly getting into my car, which I've suffered for already no end because my business is now completely online, which I was delivering before. So I've really had to employ someone else, get someone else in to do the deliveries that I can no longer do. I've already received a fine of £1,400, which on my £1,000 monthly salary, which was £2,000 reduced to £1,400 and banned for 2 years. This is what I make my livelihood off, and really had everything else really stripped from me.
That's fine. Is there anything further information you'd like to give to the board?
No, I think that's everything. Thank you.
And you're quite satisfied you've had every opportunity? That is fine. But thank you very much, Mr. Finlayson, for that. I'd now like to call on Sergeant Flake, an opportunity to address any of the issues raised by Mr. Finlayson.
Just one very brief. I know Mr. Finlayson recognised that he did make a very poor decision and explained that he had been working late. I would say the poor decision related not to driving after working late, but driving after having consumed alcohol.
Thank you very much indeed, Sergeant Flake. I would now ask board members if there are any questions for any of the parties. If there is, you could indicate in the conversation box. We have a question from Mrs. Stirling. Mrs. Stirling, please.
Thank you very much, Convener, and thanks to all parties for the presentations. I just wonder if we can confirm at all the receipt of the email from Mr. Finlayson to Licence and Standard Officers and what indeed that email indicated, please.
Chair, I would have to ask Keith Simpson to answer that question, because none of the licensing board staff received notification direct, so Mr Simpson would have to answer that.
I think it's quite in order that I think important question is actually taken up just now. So, Mr Simpson, would you like to confirm or otherwise that you received this notification?
Yes, yes, Chair. I can confirm that there was a notification from Mr Finlayson received round about the 3rd of December. Excuse me. Mr Finlayson sent me an email. I can read it out for you just now. I'd queried about whether he had actually received a conviction, and he said, yes, I've been convicted. I contacted the police this morning to notify you. They said they'd previously tried to contact me, but this is the first I'd had anything to do with it. So he being then asked what the procedure was. I said, that's fine. I thanked him for that, and I would forward the information through the correct channels. Can you advise how the case was disposed of? Was it a fine and a ban? And what the actual code for the offence was, which I forwarded to Peter Robertson, obviously the Deputy Clerk to the Board, the Senior Solicitor at Stonehaven, to make him aware. Mr Robertson came back to me to ask that Mr Finlayson confirm several parts under section 82 of the Act, which was that he must specify the nature of the offence, the date of the conviction, and be accompanied by the personal licence held by the licence holder, or if that's not practical, statement as to the reasons as to failure to produce the licence. So that was then relayed to Mr Finlayson that he must do it in a prescribed manner to give us all the correct information. I went back to Mr Finlayson on the 9th of December 2020, asking him, did you forward the information previously requested? Can you please respond directly to Peter Robertson, who's copied into this email? And my understanding is that that was the part where nothing further was received. So kind of to sum up, Mr Finlayson did make contact with me. I asked him to provide certain information through this senior solicitor, and the secondary part of the information was never received, and I did try and remind him of that fact. So I hope that clarifies the actual notification position that has arisen to that bit of contentiousness in it.
Thank you, Mr Simpson. I believe Mrs Sir would like to come back, please.
Thank you very much, Convener, and thank you, Mr Simpson. That does indeed clarify the element of contact that you had with Mr Finlayson. Can I, through you, Convener, then address the question to Mr Finlayson about any reasons he might want to share with us for not following up that advice and contacting Mr Robertson with the additional information? Thank you.
Mr Finlayson, would you like to address that question, please? Thank you.
I apologise for that. I'm just looking at my emails now that I have not responded to that and haven't seen that. So no, I've just I can't blame being busy as an excuse. So I apologise. I haven't done that as requested.
That's fine, but thanks for your honesty in that. That I think clears up that particular point. Now we have a question from Miss Ewanson, please.
Yes, thank you, Chair. It's a question for Mr Finlayson. It's just as regards how you have to operate your business now. You said that your business is now entirely online. That's obviously understandable with the current restrictions, which means that you need to do deliveries. So your driving licence is actually quite important to you at the moment. I just wondered if you had enrolled in a driver rehabilitation course. I note from the police letter that would result in a reduction up to 18 months for your driving ban.
Yeah, so currently, with obviously licensing, we're a bottle shop traditionally, so we could still be open, but we've taken further precautions to close the shop and operate as an online business to secure the kind of safety of our team and look after them to the utmost ability of which we can do. Driving was a vital part of my business, which was obviously I can no longer do already. Yes, there's a rehabilitation course that can be participated in.
That's specific. I think the point was being made to try and be helpful to you and your business. Have you actually considered taking up what Miss Houston has said?
Oh, apologies. Yes, I have considered it, but I think I'm so unbelievably disappointed with myself in the whole situation already. That I shouldn't be trying to look for kind of an easy route out of this. It's horrific what I've done already, and I'm punishing myself more than anything.
Okay, thank you for your honesty, Mr. Finlayson. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Houston. Any other questions from board members? I'll take one verbally if there is. If not, I'd like to invite Mr. Finlayson, if you'd like to make your concluding remarks, but no new evidence is allowed. But if you'd like to speak to the board just now, the floor is yours. Mr. Finlayson, please.
Okay. Well, first of all, I absolutely understand that I made an incredibly poor error of judgment on that after just trying to work very hard to pull my business through this, having already lost the main part of our business, which is events, due to COVID-19. What was left of our business we were trying to resolve upon working very late, as I had to do because we were a small team. I made a very poor error, and I'm apologetic for that already, and already suffering the consequences of this. So I absolutely understand what I've done is incredibly silly.
Okay, is that everything else? Is that everything you wish to say, Mr. Finlayson?
Yeah, and being a drinks business, my personal license is very important to us as my own livelihood and others.
Okay, can I thank you very much for that. I'd now like to ask Sergeant Flett from Police Scotland if she'd like to make her concluding remarks. And once again, as we all know, no new evidence before considering the application. Sergeant Flett, please.
No, thank you. I'm happy. It's all in front of you. Yep.
Thank you. Deputy Clerk.
Thank you, Chair. The next step is, do you require any legal advice from myself?
Yes. Can I ask if anyone needs any legal advice? If so, I'll take one verbally. If not, I'd ask if the board wishes to retire to deliberate. Of course, if we do that, just to let listeners know that all decisions are taken in public session. Or are we happy just to proceed? Have discussion and motion and/or amendments? Are we happy to proceed? Mr. Argyle, you're typing. You'd like to come in? A motion from Mr. Argyle. Mr. Argyle.
If I may, convener, just to cut to the chase here. We've heard from the police, we've heard from Mr. Finlayson, and he clearly recognises, as he said himself, that the decision he took that night was not only a very bad one, but has had huge consequences for him, and that is the nature of what happens when you are convicted. However, he's clearly not acted in accordance with the licensing principles. The board have to consider that, recognising the impact that his conduct has had on him already. But we do have to recognise that this is a very serious breach of the licensing principles. And taking no action, which is one of the options, is clearly not something we can do. Having thought about it carefully, I would propose that the board endorses Mr. Finlayson's licence on the basis that he has failed to uphold public safety and has not upheld the principles around crime and disorder as well. And that seems to me a reasonable and fair solution in this particular case. So I'd propose that, Chair, and see how that goes. Thanks.
Thank you. We do have a flood of people wishing to indicate, but first to come in is Mrs. Stirling, please. The second motion.
Thanks very much, Convener. I'm happy to second Mr Argyle's motion on the basis that I think an endorsement of the licence is the appropriate disposal in this case, that we've heard quite clearly that there's perhaps been oversights along the way by Mr Finlayson, and hopefully that an endorsement and the hearing today will have stressed the importance of following through on the principles and the requirements of a licence holder in a situation such as this. So concur with Mr Argyle's reasons for the motion to endorse, and happy to second, Convener.
That's right, thank you. I've got to ask at this stage if there's any amendment to the motion. If there is, I'll take one verbally if there is an amendment. If not, can I just ask that the motion from Mr Argyle, seconded by Mrs Stirling, is unanimously agreed? I'll take silence as everyone has agreed. Deputy Clerk, are you happy with that?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Mr Finlayson, the Board has today found that you have acted contrary to the licensing objectives of preventing crime and disorder and securing public safety, and in light of that have agreed to endorse your personal licence to that effect. You'll receive written notice of the decision in the next 7 days, and I would ask you to post your personal licence to the licensing office at Stonehaven. I'll cover this again in the letter so that it can be updated. You do have the right of appeal against the decision, but you'll need to seek independent legal advice on that. So thank you very much for attending today.
Thank you, Deputy Clerk. Can I now please confirm that the hearing is now concluded? To thank everyone who has come forward today and interest in this business, and can I now ask that all parties leave the meeting, and the Deputy Clerk will confirm the position before we've already done that. So this part of the agenda is concluded, and thank you very much.
I can confirm, Chair, that Mr Finlayson has now left the meeting.
That's fine. Thank you very much, everyone. So we're now actually on to item 10. Date of the next meeting is the 21st of April. So can I thank each and every one of you, both board members and officials and Police Scotland, very much indeed. Thank you. Meeting is now closed.
Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, Convener.